Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. 12 games in the association here on Wednesday. We're going to be taking a look at the matchup data and the insights that you need to get your plays down here on Wednesday. Going to be looking at landyourbets.com and the Swishland model projections that we're looking at each and every show now moving forward. That is where you check those out, landyourbets.com. And I did have a great time at the show, seeing Alfredo too. Last show for Freddie and the Alchemist in SF last night. So I kind of want to just do something real quick with everybody because I know how much people love music. So just hit me with the best live show you've seen in 2025. I want to know, because for me, it was easily Alfredo with Freddie Gibbs. Want to know what you guys think as well. Just have a little bit of fun for the music heads out there. But if that all sounds good, give this video a like. Let's get right into it. Quick bit of housekeeping because my boy Daft Previews is currently down, not able to upload onto YouTube at the moment for the next 7 days. So he's going to be putting all of his plays on the free plays subscription that he has here on Winnable. That's where you want to go. I'm going to put the link to that Winnable, the free plays for Daft in the comments here. Pin that comment for you guys so you can check out everything he's still doing while he waits to get back his access to get his YouTube videos up. So just quick bit of housekeeping there and just showing you guys we are going to be using the landyourbets.com Swishland model projections here with my boy Swish, who is powering these awesome projections. I'll be going through these for some players to kind of make sure that we're on top of what's going on here with the model and not missing anything, seeing if it holds us accountable, that kind of thing. And then we are going to get into Props Madness as always as well. So if you do want to get into Props Madness, the number one sort of matchup data research tool, everything you need is all in one spot here on PropsMadness.com. Going to be sharing my screen and showing this to you. So if you want to sign up and use this platform for yourself and give it a go, use code LYB when you sign up. That'll get you 25% off on your first month. But let's go ahead and get into Wednesday here. Like we said, a ton of games. So I want to go through as much as I can and start with this Bucks and Hornets game. Couple notes here. Giannis is questionable. LaMelo is out. And other than that, we're pretty much good to go here. We know that last game we had Miles Bridges was questionable. He's going to be good to go in this game. Everybody that you expect to play, including Con Sexton, going to be around. Who do you think we're going to go to on the Hornets? I don't know that you could make Con Knipple's props high enough for me not to take it. I don't see the market catching up fast enough to the fact that he should be at 19.5 points. So he's probably still going to be at 17.5. I don't think this will jump too high that it's like out of range for us to take it. And the boards are what's crazy to me because this could see a 2 rebound jump up to like 7.5. That wouldn't surprise me. And we need to be careful when we're talking about everything because even the dimes have been there for him. 9 in the last game where he almost had that triple-double against the Lakers, right? But look at the potential assists, 9 potentials. Look at the rebounds here, 10 boards, 12 rebound chances. On the points, 19, but he only took 11 shots from the field, only shot 33% from 3, but got to the free throw line 5 times. My point here is that the volume is not there for Khan. He's been awesome. I'm going to bet on him. You would have to, like I said, keep me from betting on him if you didn't want me to. But other than the points right now, and if we get the rebounds at 6.5, this is a little bit scary. If this jumps past what it should be because the volume stats, the rebound chances, the potential assists, the shot attempts, because those aren't there, if these numbers jump too high, say to like 18, 19.5 points, let's say 19.5 points, I would still take 18.5 for Khan. And the rebounds, if they're at like 7 or 8.5, now you're getting at a range of the value that we've had with taking him. If the assists are at like 3 or 4.5, you're out of my range once again. 2.5 is probably okay, but we got to see what the number is. It's going to be very important to see what the numbers are for Con Knippel, not just blindly going back to him because he's been such a freaking wagon when LaMelo has been out, especially over these last 4 games or so, right? Other side of the ball here from Milwaukee, I don't have much because Giannis is questionable. So with Giannis questionable, there's not much I can do because everything is going to revolve around him, right? Like if he's not out there, great. We'll take some Bobby Portis stuff. Probably take some Cole Anthony on the assists. Now that Giannis isn't out there, probably take Ryan Rollins on PRA. Everything he hit that again, PRA last game. But other than like, there's still guys to bet on without Giannis. I just don't know where to go until we know his status. Pulling up those projections real quick, I want to see what we've got here for Khan on the projections on Swishland. 19 points. So that's what I was saying. I think I would still take 18.5 points. I agree with the model. I would still take the 2.5 dimes. And again, I would even take 6.5 rebounds. But once you get to 7.5 boards, once you get to 3.5 dimes, once you get to 19.5 points, I'm out. So that's why I wanted to show you the model as well. I actually didn't even know it agreed with me to this degree. I knew it probably would, but we're on the same page here. Let's see if we still get the value and the right numbers to bet overs on Khan. Quick reminder too, at the end of the video is when I'm going to be going over the slate and how I did on my card on Tuesday night. So definitely make sure if you want to see the record and how things are going with the bets I'm making, a little bit of the sort of analysis on how the bets went and about around some players as well, then that's where you want to check that out. End of the video is where you're going to see that. But moving on down here, I'm going to go to the next game is going to be the Chicago and Detroit game, and everybody and they mama is out for the Pistons once again, which was the case against the Wizards as well. Osar now out, Tobias Harris still out, and if we look at the without stuff here on Props Madness, it's really helpful. Like I said, all those guys out, and Isaiah Stewart is going to be doubtful. So there's a lot of usage to go around right now. There's a good amount of rebounds probably to go around. It's going to be Cade, Jalen Duren, Duncan Robinson, and then you're probably going to see Ron Holland out there, Karis LeVert coming off the bench a bit, but there's going to be some guys we can take advantage of for the Pistons, especially because I do not like this Bulls defense at all. I don't think it's good enough. So I think I'm going to be going to Ron Holland, and we'll see what's up with him. He only played 24 minutes despite being in the starting lineup last game. They preferred to go with some of the rooks in this last game. That's who we saw coming on the floor for them. Not sure I'm ready to bet on anybody else yet, but I do think Ron Holland's points are going to be a play in this one. In a fast-paced game where he's going to thrive with his athleticism and the ability to shoot the deep ball. And then Cade, we got to see what Cade's at. He just came out, so I have to look at this real quick. Cade's at I knew it was going to be 29.5 points. The dimes at 9.5, I'm good. I thought it might be 10.5 to open, and the boards I love. I knew we were going to get a good advantage on the boards. I thought it might even be 5.5 for plus money, which it probably will go to, and I'm still down to take that for Cade. I think the RA in this one is kind of how I'm focused in a game against the Bulls, up and down, team that gives up assists to point guards. That's where I'd be looking at Cade. Maybe a little triple double or something. If it's, I don't even know if we're gonna have odds for that. Look at that, like 17.5 to 1 for him to get the triple double. Might be worth 0.1 units just to see if we can get a little something back on that one from him. And then if you're looking at the Bulls, we got to know about Giddey, but I do like some stuff here for the Bulls because this Pistons defense, while it's really good, it's awesome, really so far on the season. The defensive rating for the Pistons is 4th best in the league. They're number 1 limiting assists. They're very, very good. But if Giddey is out, we are going to have some nice value on guys like Trey Jones assists. That's one place I'm going. Like I said, number 1 assist defense in the league. That's not the case when most of your rotation is missing for this one, including Osar, who's super important to the defense. So is Isaiah Stewart, one of the better rim protectors in the league. For Isaiah Stewart, not going to be, which is crazy to think, but his defensive field goal percentage at the rim is incredible. So you're not going to have the same defense out here for the Pistons. If we see Trey Jones without Giddey, last game, 7 assists on 15 potentials against a Spurs defense that is definitely going to be better than what we're going to see for Detroit here on Wednesday. Again, Detroit's defense might even be better than San Antonio's when it's fully healthy, and it's not going to be that here in this game. Love the dimes for Trey Jones. And then if we're looking at Io again, he's not going to have props until we know about Giddey. We know that, right? But if we come down to Io here, came back last game, played 33 minutes. I think even if Giddey is healthy, Io could easily see 30 minutes in this game. He's been seeing about 25, 26 when he plays alongside Giddey. Came back and had to get healthy, so he played 20, 23. But even when Giddey's out there, he's playing 27, 28. I think that gets up to 30, 32 with, I know it does without Giddey. I think with Giddey, he could still see 30 in this one, and a good matchup versus the Pistons, like good for the offense. And Io led the team in touches in the last, or had 73. I think he was second to Trey Jones in the last game against the Spurs here. Shot really well. I'd be taking points. I'd be probably taking all of it, like PRA, but definitely points for Io. If we see Giddey out, I bet this is at like 16.5. Really like that for him. And actually, one more look here for the Bulls is going to be Vooch. Let's see what his threes opened at. Nice, minus 120. I would take anything like this for Vooch on the threes. If you look at his history against this squad, Jalen Duren don't want to be coming out to that three-point line. Like, nobody wants to go out there and guard Vooch for Detroit. He took 6 threes last game against them, all at the top of the key, all pretty open. I think that's going to be the case again, averaging 2.4 against this team dating back to like 2 seasons ago. And that's a pretty good sample size because this is a division opponent that they're playing a ton, right? So, yeah, the fact that we know how they play against him when Duren is out there guarding him, Beef Stew not going to be out there guarding him. So I do think Vooch is going to have a good game here from the 3-point line. Like him to hit the 2, maybe sprinkle on a little bit of an alt for 3+. Reminder for y'all that Novig is the sportsbook exchange of the month on landyourbets.com. This is a place where you can bet against your peers or set your own lines, see if people want to bet against you as well. If you do want to sign up for Novig and don't have an account yet, use code LYB. That'll go ahead and get you all the bonus bets you need there. And I'm also willing to give you a free month of access to these projections and to the bets that I'm making here on landyourbets.com. Just sign up, use that code. Let us know you did so by emailing support@landyourbets.com. Just tell us that you signed up using LYB for Novig. You'd like to access the projections and the bets on the site, and we'll go ahead and get you that free month of access. Moving to the Knicks and the Magic. Knicks had a nice win against the Grizzlies at home. They are now 7-0. They're going to be on the back-to-back here against Orlando, so we're going to wait to see who's playing before we get their the lines for these Knicks players. But Mitch Rob is going to play. Mitchell Robinson, I mean, I don't know that for sure, but he missed the front end of a back-to-back against a team like Memphis that they didn't need him as much as they will against a team like Orlando. So it makes sense that he would play this second night of this back-to-back for the Knicks, which doesn't really impact too much other than maybe there's not quite as many boards and things to go around for Cat. So we'll take a look at that when we know if Mitch Rob is playing. But let's just start with Jalen Suggs. The rebounds and assists have finally jumped 2 from 5.5, where we were just hitting this all season so far, right? In 2020, this season so far, if you put this at 5.5, he is over in every single game. And we hit this in almost every single game now for him at 5.5 RA. It is now 7.5 plus money on FanDuel. I think it'll end somewhere around this, wherever you look, 6.5 on for juiced, right? Minus 150, whatever, or you'll get 7.5 plus money. I'm going 7.5 plus money on all of it. And the other thing here is, so what did he play minutes versus the Celtics? He played 29 minutes. That is his high on the season without question. I think he might have played 23 once. Not even. He didn't play more than 21 minutes before he just played 29 against the Celtics in a 4-point loss. What were the points at for him? 20. I think it's time to go back to the PRA for our boy. 18.5 is still really low. He's shooting really well, but if he's going to be out there for 29 minutes and not 21 minutes, he still only took 8 shots. It's just he's shooting so damn well because everybody's so focused on Paolo, Franz, and Desmond Bane. Jalen Suggs is your 4th best option on offense right now is really good. This dude was shooting this well 2 seasons ago. Last season took a big hit in the field goal percentage because he had to do it all at times where there was no Franz and no Paolo. Now he doesn't. Now he's like Derek White on the Celtics. He doesn't have to be the 2nd best player. He doesn't have to be the best player. He can just be the 4th best player. I mean Derek White on the Celtics when they still had 3 or 4 guys better than him, not Derek White this season, right? So Jalen Suggs is going to be able to score. I think the percentages are high for his shooting. I'm starting to believe in it even more. Maybe not 85% where he's been at. Like last game, he shot 75% from the field. I'm not expecting that to continue forever, but I do think the usage will continue to go up, and I do think he's going to shoot a higher percentage than people might project because there's so much attention elsewhere on this Magic offense. A lot of notes for this Cavs and Heat game because the Cavs are soft with a capital T, soft right now. I hate what they're doing in this game. If you look at this squad right now for the Cavs, they just lost by 2 in overtime to the Heat. Awesome game. Jaime Jaquez for MVP. But like now it's 2 days later, you've got to play at Miami again, and you're just seem like a cry baby team now, like just a bunch of cry babies, dude, where you've got Donnie out, Evan Mobley out, Darius Garland out for rest, so they can rest up after not playing yesterday or today. They have to rest up. It's just soft, man. It's just so soft and unnecessary. I don't know what they have going on. I probably sound like a jerk to some people, but like, dog, play at least 1 or 2 of your best players in this game. It's so soft. I hate it. Anyway, this doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a blowout. Like DeAndre Hunter, Jared Allen, Sam Merrill, Lonzo Ball, Dean Wade going to get some minutes, and then we're not going to see Jalen Tyson, so we'll probably see a little bit of Craig Porter Jr. Like, there's not a big rotation here, and I think you can definitely bet on some of these Cavs guys now that all of them are out, other than these players. Hunter, you're getting a little crazy with the 22.5. The assists are 2.5. The rebounds are 4.5. I think I would take the rebounds and the assists. If you want to play PRA, all right. I mean, even 30.5 might not be too high for a dude who's going to be option 1A and B and everything else. So you could take the PRA if you want. The points at 22.5 scare me a little bit with dude, but when he is the main option, doesn't seem like quite as much his game. The value to me is going to be more on a guy like Lonzo and his dimes. This is now 5.5 plus money, but like we've been taking this at 4.5 for like juiced. So it's pretty much the equivalent here. They think he's going to have a ton of touches, which makes a ton of sense. He's going to play probably 25, 26 minutes. So keep that in mind. But like the assists, maybe even adding the rebounds are a little high for me. The assists I like. could see that, yeah, if the 1.5 threes were better money, but nah, I think the only play here for Lonzo is the dimes. But then we got to go to like, maybe my favorite team in the league right now is the Jaime Jaquez is basically what I was about to call them, the Fighting Triple J's, as they might as well be known. So his assists are 4.5 now. His rebounds are 6.5. And it doesn't scare me at all. So this is 27.5. It was just 26.5. I guess if you think that the Heat are going to blow this, they're only 6-point favorites at home versus a team missing its 3 best players. Like no Darius, no Donovan, no Mobley. And this is still a 6-point spread. Maybe it should be, maybe it shouldn't be, but I'm not going to like not bet on Jaime because people are like, well, now the Heat are going to blow out the Cavs. No, they're not. No, they're not. That's not how it goes, right? Like, and if anything, it's like a stars out, bets up kind of thing. If I would be betting on the Cavs right now before I was betting on the Heat to win by more than 6 points. That's where I'm at with the backups for the Cavs, but that's why I still like Jaime. There's no threat of the blowout. I think his minutes still stay high. Without Bam on court this season, he is now averaging 27 points per 36 minutes alongside 8 assists and 8 boards and 8 assists per 36. It's insane, right? Like he is the point guard and the big man down low, and he's getting a bunch of the points in transition, like most of the points in transition. You could take Norm on some points. This would be a little bit more of like a fear for me once you get up to 22.5. Still beatable for Norm against this defense. That'd be the other guy. I'm really not looking at anybody else except for potentially. Here's the thing. Hit me in the comments with #NoJovic if you're of the do not bet on Jovic crowd, and I respect that. The rebounds in the last 2 games have been nice without Bam. He is playing backup center. He just didn't get the minutes in this last game, 26, and that's why I said #NoJovic in this before the video talking about that game on November 10th was like, you don't know when this dude's going to play 26. You don't know when he's going to play 34. Like Spo doesn't like him. If he does dumb stuff in a game, Spo's taking him out. So I still don't trust him. But the rebounds, even at 5.5, this has been as low as 4.5 in these last 2 games. I mean, 10 rebound chances, 17 rebound chances. If I was going to bet on Jovic, it'd be the boards. But because #NoJovic, I don't think I can get there with it. And we just got to keep going back to Jaime until they make this like 30.5 PRA when he's playing without Bam and without Tyler Hero. 12 games, got to pick our spots here. Cannot be hitting this Grizzlies-Celtics game right now with both teams on a back-to-back. Grizzlies are reeling. It's disgusting. The vibes could not be lower in Memphis. Boston just lost a tough one by 2 to Philly. Vibes aren't exactly like skyrocketing in Boston either. We're going to stay away from that one for now. Portland and the Pelicans here. So I do think you want to bet on anybody playing against the Pelicans. You got to at least consider it. This game should not be close. It is an 8.5-point spread for Portland. They're favored. And we know Poole, Zion Williamson, still DeJounte Murray out for this squad. If we are looking at this squad, though, I told you about Derek Queen last game. Came through on the points and assists combined because he got the points. The assists weren't quite there as much against Phoenix. I don't know that I want to bet on him even at like 1 or 2.5 assists now, but he's got some pretty nice games here where he's not a bad playmaker, and he's getting 25 minutes at this point. Even with like Yves Missy back, like he's still getting 25 minutes. So if you project him for 25 minutes, I think, again, even just like PRA or points would be the way to play him. 19.5 PRA would probably be an over for me. If we get this at 10.5 points, still like that as well. But I like adding the assists. I don't mind it for Derek Queen when he has had some big assist game and is a really nice sort of playmaker from that sort of point forward type of position here, point center, whatever you want to call him. And then on the other side, we got to talk about Denny Avdia for a sec because those assists are still really high. I think 4.5 is now a very beatable number where he's averaging like 10 potential, 15. He's basically averaging like 13 potential assists in his last 4 games. Looks like his usage has gone way up, and that has actually eaten into Drew Holiday's usage a bit. He still has some nice assist numbers here, but this was getting really, really high. Dropped back down to 6.5 last game so he could get over, but he still doesn't have the same amount of potential assists consistently. They're actually pretty high still. I don't know if I'd be scared of his assists against the Pelicans. Assists are going to be high available for this team. So I think Denny and Drew probably still go both over on their assists. They're both just dominating the touches on ball so much that there's nobody else that's really diming up nearly as much. And guys like Jeremy Grant are actually scoring a ton because they don't have to do anything except for score. I might consider Grant points again. It's between he and Shaedon Sharpe who's taking more shots, and I don't really want to have to figure that out between the two of them when they play. I much prefer like Denny and Drew stuff, and especially the assists for both those players. And I do want to look at the projections here for Portland before I forget. I want to just pull them up and filter this to POR. So we can see what we have here. I'm going to filter this by minutes so we can see who's expected to play the most minutes. So you got Denny at 34, 21 points, 7. Oh, that's boards. And then five 5 dimes. So the dimes we still have him at about 5. 21 points. How does that compare to where last game was 23.5? It's probably going to be pretty high again against the Pelicans. So we might have phased out Denny's stuff to being too high. Drew at 34 minutes. Yeah, I think they're saying like this has blowout potential. The model is a bit nervous that guys aren't going to play full minutes and get full amount of stats because of the fact that like no one has respect right now for the Pelicans, nor should they. So just be careful with these potential blowouts on a 12-game slate when there's going to be games that are much more likely to be close. Then I would be relying on those a lot more. Looking at the Warriors and the Spurs. Don't know what's going to happen with this one, unfortunately, because my projection for this game was the Dubs stay close with OKC on Tuesday night. That shit didn't happen. We're about to talk about that here in a minute when I go through the bets. That didn't happen. So now the projection was that maybe, you see Steph sit, maybe you see Jimmy sit, somebody not play against the Spurs because they just went all out against the Thunder on Tuesday, but they ain't. They ain't go all out against the Thunder because nobody played in the fourth quarter between SGA and Steph and Draymond and Jimmy. Nobody needed to play. It was a 29-point game going into the fourth quarter. So now maybe it will be close. Maybe they will be able to play guys like Steph and Draymond and Jimmy and everybody because they didn't have to play the fourth quarter on Tuesday. Either way, I like a couple things for the Spurs, and you already know what it is. It's going to be De'Aaron Fox again. I still think 20 points is low. I think this is going to be 21, 22 and a half consistently for him all season. He needs to keep going, man. And against Chicago, only 14 shots, but 37 minutes. What did he end with on the dimes? Yeah, 5 on 10 potentials. And that's because this dude is still just diming up like a psychopath. 8 is where you start to lose me, right? Let's see what the model has for our boy Stephon Castle in this game. 29 minutes. That might be a little bit low, but we should talk about that in a sec. 7.8 dimes in 29 minutes. If he was going to get 35 minutes in this game, that might feel a little bit better on the dime, 7.8. The problem is that this rotation is about to get a little bit more crowded, right? Devin Vassell is fully healthy. He's been healthy, but he was a potential scratch last game, ended up playing, I believe, played against the Bulls, got 21 minutes. I think he's going to continue to stay high in minutes. Harrison Barnes, 28 minutes. Keldon Johnson in this last game, they got him for 19, but then you got Champagny, you got Cornette, and you got Sohan. And that's a really deep rotation, but it's probably going to start meaning that guys like Stephon Castle don't see 35, 36 minutes, 37 minutes like he did in this little range right here when there were guys that were out, then come back against the Bulls, loses about 3-4 minutes because there's more guys to play. So it's just going to be a little bit trickier to really depend on guys on the Spurs to play full minutes other than D Fox, Victor Wembanyama. You can see Fox 37 minutes in just his second game back to make sure they beat the Bulls. Wemby 36 because that's what he does because he's a freak. So yeah, I think Fox is still good on the points here. We'll wait to see who's playing for the for the Warriors before I start betting on anything else in this game, to be honest. All right, Wizards, Rockets. What's the spread of this poo-poo game? 16.5. I say poo-poo game. I think there's some ways to play it. Like, yes, I don't think this will be close. So it might be scary to do things like take Şengün over 6.5 assists, which, by the way, all it's done is hitting 7 out of 9 games this season. Potentials for him are at 12. So like 6 to 7 is really, it's running hot on the assists. He hasn't really gotten more than 7 that often, just gets 7 very consistently. So it's a wagon. Like, you might as well play it till it falls off, I guess, because it's just consistently hitting. If you wanted that would be where I'd be looking for Şengün. But even more so than Şengün, blowout city, who do you turn to, right? Look at this game against the Nets. They win by 28. Our boy gets 24 minutes. They beat the Grizzlies by 15, only got 17, won by 27. All his overs, they're winning by a bajillion points, right? Now, the cool thing is, if you want to bet on him and not worry about a blowout at all, he might just get minutes regardless. He played 29 against the Bucks, and that was a 7-point game. They wanted him for his shooting, took 6 threes in that game. Same concept against SAS. 7 threes, and they got him out there for 26 minutes, which was, I believe, his high on the season. 26 was his high. Other than the first game, he played 28 with the overtime. 26 in this game against the Spurs, then comes back with 29 against the Bucks, right? And no one's really missing here, just Aaron Holiday. But Reed Shepard's coming in, playing minutes off the bench now and getting some threes, which we've been waiting for. So I think what's the threes at here? Is it still 1.5? No offer yet. If we get 1.5, like minus 130, I still think it's good. And I think that like a 15-point alt points here for him as well. If it's at 10.5, happy to take the over on the points. Probably go to 15 plus. Because if this is a blowout, then this might be his first career 30-minute game, or at least first 30-minute game this season for Reed Shepherd. Would be looking at that and then be worried about the blowout and taking starter stuff on both sides, really. Like, I don't really like having to take a Wizards player, even like Trey Johnson, who I would like because he's on the end of the bench. When they get blown out, he's guaranteed to get 25, 26 minutes. But I still just don't trust it against this Houston Rockets defense. And I don't trust Coach Brian Keefe for this squad either. So I don't have much for Phoenix Dallas. No thank you to everything Dallas, especially with AD questionable every damn game. I'm not trying to sit here and wait for AD's tag to come through to bet on this awful basketball team. But I do think that this catches my eye. Dylan Brooks, man, if he's at 15.5 points again, like, bro played 26 minutes against Pelicans, shot 13 times, had 10 free throws. His usage in this game was 35.5%. Dylan Brooks is at this point right now where he's just like, y'all traded me to this garbage squad, but I'm still just going to bring it every game. And because I'm the leader on in every way, shape, or form, vocal leader, defensive leader, I get to take as many damn shots as I want, and nobody's going to say a thing to me. So I think he's going to keep shooting. And I think I'm happy to take him over 15.5 again against the Mavs, who are not bad on defense. They're actually third in defensive rating. They're just so terrible on offense that they can't win a basketball game. So I do like Dylan Brooks as the only real look potentially in that one. 15.5 points would feel good against the Mavs. That would be probably about as high as I'd go, but I still think that gives us an advantage. And then last thing I'm looking at here for the Lakers and Thunder, don't have much because LaRavia is pissing me off, dude. 2 for 8 when I took him last game, but this is one of those where I think I got to go back to him, right? I know it's the Thunder. It's going to be the backups, not backups. There's going to be guys missing, I should say, for the Thunder. Not a great matchup, but like still on the PR here, man, I'm going to go back to it. I played 11.5 last game and it didn't hit because he couldn't make more than 25% of his shots. I don't know, make one more shot and you're not even there still. So but 5 rebound chances, like 25 minutes because he couldn't hit a damn thing against this squad. I guess there's a likelihood of a blowout. I want to go back to it because, similar to how Noah Clowney just went 0 when the first time I bet on him, came back to him on Tuesday night. He cashed in the first quarter because if the read is right and the result is wrong because of missed shots, then you still got to go back to it. You got to play that consistently. That's how I feel about Jake LaRavia. The only thing is nobody is taking shots besides these two. 45 shots combined. I mean, 31.5 for Luka. What's been his stuff head-to-head against the squad when he was on the Mavs? Yeah, he didn't really get 30 very often, huh? He didn't get 32 either very often. He hasn't done that since 24 against the squad, 2024. The assists against this team also, whatever. Rebounds, all right. It's not like you have an edge in sort of the matchup against OKC, that's for sure. But Luka's Luka-ing, man. I mean, he took 28 shots last game. What his usage is up at on the season is 38%. I mean, was it ever that high? I don't know. So 24-25, what was his usage? Let me see real quick. 33.5%, 23-24, 33%. This is uncharted territory for him, right? Uncharted, whatever. 38% usage rate. There's nothing to tell me that he's not going to keep doing that except for potentially a blowout, like when they got slapped by 20 versus the Hawks, and then he only played 27 minutes. The blowouts are real in the NBA right now. I would assume that this is going to be better, but I assumed that the Warriors could keep it close, and they're a better team than the Lakers, and they did not even come close to keeping it close. So just keep that in mind as you get a little bit crazy with Luka stuff. Like 31.5 is super high. It seems low for a guy averaging 37 a game, but it's the Thunder, and a blowout just tanks that. So just keep that in mind. I'll come back with some stuff for everybody in the VIP here on Wednesday when we get these bets down. I want to go through the reads here for Tuesday. I think everything is now in the books as I'm recording this, and I believe that Thunder game is now over. Garbage. But the Noah Clowney look, the aforementioned one, he cashed this in the first quarter. This is the read here was the approach doesn't change. Brooklyn wants Noah Clowney to log big minutes, and they want him to be a focal point of the offense. So you can't just get deterred because the Knicks blew them out by 35 at 40, whatever it was, and he only played 22 minutes, and he went 2 for 9 from the field, 0 for 7 from the field, maybe it was 1 for 9, like worst game of the season for Noah Clowney. Results don't change what happens next game, right? The read was still there. The usage was there. It worked out. Ja Morant keeps getting 33.5 PRA. That was the other cash of the night for him. Lost all other 4 bets here, but he actually had like 28, 29 in this game. And it's still just like, if you can't make a 3 and your team is so bad that like everybody could just focus on you, there's no reason that Ja Morant should be at 33.5 PRA. Although he has been starting to get the over on the assists. If you want a sneaky good little parlay science, as my boy Daff likes to say, Ja to get over assists moving forward, but under PRA is kind of a wagon. You'll get some negative correlation on that kind of bet. That'll be something to look at moving forward. All 4 of these bets got tanked because the Dubs scored 44 points in the first half. That's what we're talking about with the blowouts, but you can't let blowouts deter you. The key here is this game for the Thunder and the Dubs was a 7.5 point spread in OKC, right? In OKC. So that means that they really thought it was more of like a 4 or 5 point spread, but they gave 2 or 3 points for home court advantage to OKC. So that really means that the market thought that the Warriors were going to keep it close, and they didn't. They just got blown out. They played like crap. They didn't even look like they gave it crap, to be honest. So it was disheartening to watch, but I'm not going to project a blowout because I think the Thunder are so much better. The market told me it wasn't going to be a blowout, and I'm going to listen to the market to go, if the market says it's 7.5 points, then I got to use that as my read for how the game is going to go and not be a blowout, but be a close one. So Steph, 7 points in the first quarter, and then kind of got fouled a lot and no calls, but then just wasted away, right? They gave up however many points by half, and they were down by 20 at the half. So it was pretty much over. Same concept for Jimmy. He had like 14 PRA at the half and was like on his way. Just didn't matter. Didn't play the fourth quarter. AJ Mitchell, same thing. Should have played his points. He ended with 17, and that beat the 15.5 number. Didn't get there on the PRA. 31 minutes for him, but again, he lost another 4 minutes. SGA down here, 35 plus points. He lost at least 6 minutes. He played 28 minutes in this game, dude, and it's because he didn't play in the fourth quarter. So it is what it is. We lost the half a unit there. So on the day here, minus 1.9 units or 1.8. On the season now, going to be down 4.5 units. Back to that. Not great, but like I'm really not that deterred, man. I'm really, really confident in the looks that we have. I feel really good about the grasp that we have on this season and players' minutes, and we're starting to get more data that's really helping us. So I feel very confident we're going to turn this thing fully around and within the next month be up 5 to 10 units as opposed to down 4 like we are right now. So that is all the time that I have for you guys in this one, though. Definitely make sure to sub to the channel if you do not yet do so, so that you can follow along all season. Going to be coming back with a live show as soon as I can. Maybe we'll have one tomorrow now that I think about it, because there's so many games. It would be sick to do that and get somebody on. So stay tuned for that. Best of luck on Wednesday. Till I see y'all next. Happy betting.